down the street off of Westshire Place, also here in Fulton County. After abandoning the vehicle, they began to jump fences and walls. While doing so, they discarded masks and gloves, which they were wearing, can be seen in the video surveillance from the Barcelona Wine Bar, which was later found by Atlanta police detectives. They also, when climbing over the razor wire, barbed wire fence, Mr. Bailey injured himself, leaving a blood trail through the path that he took that was also swabbed. All of the evidence was eventually sent to the GBI, and the testing of the GBI was able to confirm that the glove that Mr. Bailey was wearing in the video surveillance, his DNA was found on the inside of the glove, and Ms. Beller's DNA was found on the outside of the glove. The blood trail was also tested, which came back to the DNA belonging to Mr. Bailey. And after the DNA was confirmed to be Mr. Bailey, he, along with the other co-defendants, were eventually placed under arrest for the charges we've spoken about here today, Your Honor. Had this case proceeded to trial, that's what the state would have been able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. As to the criminal history of the defendant, at the time of this incident, he had no felony convictions. He had previously, in 2016, in DeKalb County, entered into a negotiated plea where he was sentenced to a burglary in the first degree, but he successfully completed that under the First Offender Act, and it was appropriately discharged due to his successful completion. About 6 months prior to this incident, Mr. Bailey had been involved in a similar incident, which was the armed robbery of the Pinewood restaurant in DeKalb County in Decatur. Since his arrest for this case, as well as he actually turned himself into DeKalb County prior to warrants being taken out for the Fulton County case. But he has since resolved that case, and it was sentenced in DeKalb County. In this case, he accepted responsibility for the actions that he caused and committed, Your Honor. When Your Honor deems appropriate, there is Ms. Beller's mother, Ms. Dana Batts, would like to address the court for a victim impact statement.
She may do so now. I'm gonna have, you want her from witness stand?
Would Your Honor mind if she sat at the
No, that's
state
just
table?
fine.
Before we begin, I'd like to share something with you regarding the factual basis, unless you prefer that I will.
Wait until it's your turn.
Shall we take a seat now these people are speaking?
No, you can stand there. You're fine.
You can talk straight to the mic, okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. If you could just state your name for the record.
My name is Dana Babst. I'm Chelsea Beller's mother.
Okay, can you spell it for us?
My name is spelled D-A-N-A-B-A-P-S-T.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So first of all, just wanted to show you a picture of my angel so you can get a glimpse into who she is. And this picture here exemplifies the beautiful soul that Chelsea is and the angel that she has always been. This one here illustrates that she's my heartbeat, and I think about her every single second of every day. And these past 5 years have been pretty torturous. These pictures can't speak and tell you the way that she shaped my life, the beauty that she brought into this world, and the positive impact that she had on everything and everybody that she touched. I hope that you can gain a sense of her extraordinary soul as I attempt to describe to you the devastation caused by the defendants stand before you. Not only did they shatter my world on November 19th, 2017, but the degeneracy and criminal actions that they took the life of my angel left a wake of destruction, affecting the lives of many. She has 3 little sisters. My daughters, Riley and Leah, have been affected horribly by this tragedy. Their dad, Jay, as we all try to pick up the pieces and put back together our lives and move on. Her stepmom, Lisa, is here today. She came from Michigan, and her little sister, Carson, couldn't make it because she had to stay at the hotel with a horrible migraine, probably brought on by the stress of this all. Their dad is watching via Zoom because he's doing a deposition as an expert witness up in Michigan. Her boyfriend James is here, and I saw what it did to him. As a matter of fact, he's the one that called to tell me of the shooting, and I'm sure in his mind, he sounded calm as he figured that you could probably sustain a gunshot wound to the shoulder and live through this. For me, the panic set in immediately. The level of devastation may not hit the hearts of those who have never had such a tragic misfortune of experiencing such a fate. You may not understand or even be able to imagine the worst pain that you could ever feel in your life. But I can tell you firsthand, this is the worst that life has to offer. Nobody should ever have to bury a child. I know that there are those here today that can empathize with my pain because they've been through similar things. Your Honor, I know that you've got a daughter. And I could tell you, as a parent, this is the worst thing that could ever happen in the world. I know that yours mean as much to you as mine do to me. My heartbeat. And this has forever changed the shape of my heart. Hearing what Chelsea had to go through, I can't imagine. I know that she probably, I haven't watched any of the videos, I can't bring myself to, but from what was described, I know that she remained as calm as she could to take care of the other people that were there and to try and bring them some comfort. She was a friend to many. She's a sister, daughter, a niece, cousin. And she touched the lives of many, many, many more. She was just hitting her stride, actually. She was 29 years old. And I know that because of their actions, their families are going to lose their children also. That's not lost on me, but I just don't understand why. She gave me the money. I just can't imagine looking in her eyes and shooting her. What did she have to go through in those last minutes? She didn't die in the arms of somebody that she loved. She didn't die with her family around her. She died on the cold room of a restaurant floor office after being shot while she was just doing her job, and she gave you the money. Your Honor, I ask that you don't give them any leniency in this. Chelsea doesn't get any leniency. She doesn't get to come back. She was a positive impact on a lot of people. She had helped various people financially, and I never knew until after she died that she actually had a little girl that she adopted online or paperwork in Guatemala that she would send money to on a monthly basis to help her cover the cost of books and food or clothes or whatever, and into the various charity organizations that she was involved with. I mean, she was an asset to society. I personally don't think that they even deserve to walk among angels like her, and they took an angel off the earth. You had no right to take a human life with seemingly no remorse at all, which is a very, very difficult thing to deal as a parent. I mean, I have kids, and I'm very, very, very angry and very hurt about what your actions did, but I know that you have parents and brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, and look how many lives that you have affected in this process of these choices that you made. And I'll never be able to get her back. And now I have pictures. I have the memories that I have. I have her fingerprint on my necklace. And I have some of her material possessions. Well, I do. She always live in my shattered, severely distorted, misshapen heart now. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, nothing further from the state at this time.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, this is Ms. Spencer, who is Mr. Bailey's mom. Where would you like for her?
She can come to the witness stand to speak. Thanks, Mr. Body. Ma'am, you may sit or stand, whichever you prefer.
Judge, should we take a break so that,
No, it's not disrupting the proceeding. There's no jury here. Ma'am, do you need a break or are you okay? All right. Can you please state and spell your legal name, please? You may remove your mask.
My name is Lantonia Spencer. I'm the mother of Carlos Bailey. And there's not a whole lot that I can say besides I'm so sorry because I too, I do not understand your pain, but I know mine. And I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry for the pain that this has caused you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, I have some things I want to make clear to you. Because I knew that she wanted to say some things. And although it's never going to be a consolation for the loss of, if the family wouldn't mind Chelsea, not Ms. Beller, Chelsea, from everything I saw in the video and videos of this incident. She was a formidable young woman, and I say all that to point out that Ms. Spencer and Mr. Bailey have expressed regret and remorse on the things that particularly Ms. Spencer would want to say, and I'm sorry she was unable to do that this morning. But I think the court and hopefully the family will understand why the tragic loss of the life of a child can't be imagined by folks that it's never happened to. But I do know Ms. Spencer is looking at the loss of the life of her child to the extent that he's been locked up for the past 5 years. And were he to, if the court accepts the plea, go to the prison system, we know as a matter of law that he would not be eligible for parole for 30 years. And that's when he would be eligible with no guarantee. Please also understand that in negotiating with Mr. Abadi and Paul Howard in the last administration and Ms. Willis, who have been very receptive to conversation regarding Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey made known his regret and desire to enter a plea in this case some years ago. The pandemic hasn't helped with that in many respects, but also, Judge, what he had hoped and what was discussed for the most of the past year is that we could fashion something that was 45 years with these non-parolable offenses so that he would be able to come from prison 15 years after he was eligible for parole, so that he knew that the light at the end of the tunnel was not a train, and that the tragedy here wouldn't continue to live and keep him from ever being released on parole. He's currently in the prison system. He has been studying, he has gotten his GED, he has explained that he did not want to go to trial. But he explained to me in saying that is that he didn't want to put the families through a trial because of what he saw in the discovery. You know, he just shared with the court in doing the plea colloquy that he finished the 10th grade. His ability to write and to talk and to reason and to read. And he read all of the discussion, all of the discovery, and we've had discussions about it. Led him to the opinion, regardless of what his co-defendants did or didn't want to do, to enter a plea in this case. How long he had to be in prison has always been the issue. I recognize that we were unable to get agreement from everyone concerned to our offer to, do 45 years non-parole. And when it came down to the life sentence with the possibility of parole, Mr. Bailey recognized that it's just an opportunity to get parole and that he may never be released. And we know, I mean, in 30 years, I'll be 70 in May, that means I'll be 99. If I'm still here, I doubt I will be, but I do think that he will take the opportunity to make something of himself in the environment that he recognizes he's placed himself in hopes of earning the parole board's trust to release him. I do want to talk to you briefly about the factual predicate, and it is not an affront to what we're pleading to, and it is not an affront to the prosecution. But even in the police report, and even on the video, it was clear that when Mr. Bailey had the gun in his hand and picked up another item and was looking at it, that the gun accidentally discharged. And in the police report, the officer writing about his review of the video wrote that the shot was a surprise to both the shooter and Ms. Bell. Is that of consequence because they were there with the guns and committing the armed robbery? Only ever so slightly. But what prompted them, I think, is one of the questions that were asked, to do what they were doing is something that has been studied. The court knows I've been doing this for June will be 42 years. And through my work with death penalty cases and with the Innocence Project, and those different things, studying the science of where we are. Because it was the science that, that was so instrumental in this case. But I did want to share with you how things have changed regarding sentencing for juveniles, which used to be under 16 years of age, and then it went to under 17 years of age. Regarding the death penalty, for example, in 1968, they decided you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
I know you are, but I'm just saying. And then it went to 18 years of age, and now they are saying that the development of the brain in young men in their late teens into their early 20s is an important factor in why they impulsively do things or do things that they don't examine the consequences of. But where I'm going is that all of the science through 2022, and I have article after article, I'm not going there with you, but what I'm saying to you is they say that as they mature, as Mr. Bailey will mature in prison, that their cognitive understanding of controlling their actions and how foolish it was to have done what they did is recognized, and that there is hope for these men, young men into old men, that can develop and fester while they're in prison. And I say fester because they're going to have to find themselves amongst the element that they would least want to be with. But I'm just saying to you is there is, over the next 30 years, something that Mr. Bailey can do to try to help himself, and the test will be then, has he done that? And then the question will be, the hurt will never be gone. The loss will never be gone for Chelsea's family, but the question will be, can Carlos Bailey, who came first and said, I want to enter a plea, and we've been negotiating on this, we've been working on this, can he have another opportunity of life, not as the young man who stands here with you, not as the teenager who had just turned 20, who committed these horrible crimes, but as the man who will be eligible for parole in 30 years, can he ask for another opportunity? Yes, he can ask, but whether he'll get it is the real question. So I offer these things to, not to you necessarily, but to the parole board, that it was his decision to come forward and do these things. And I don't want to trivialize anything, but it reminds me in the Shawshank Redemption, when after so many years they bring Red before the parole board, he said, the person that did those horrible crimes was a foolish kid. I wish I could talk to him today, but that kid's dead and gone. And what you do is what you're going to do after I've lived here for the past 30 years, and the past 5 years in the Fulton County Jail, where Ms. Kaufman just shared with you, and I think Mr. Hoover and the other lawyers will tell you, we couldn't get in because of the stabbings on the respective floors in the jail, and flooding, and the horrible conditions. I'm not asking for sympathy, I'm pointing out to you that Mr. Bailey hasn't gotten away with something. He is paying the price for what he did, and it's by his own volition. It's not something he was forced to do. And I wanted that to be clear to the court and the family as I offer this information to you. Is it off?
I can't hear you.
That's all I have to present to the court. I think Mr. Bailey might want.
Okay.
It's still off. I think it's good.
Yeah, turn it on. And you may remove your mask, Mr. Bailey. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
I just wanted to apologize to victim mother, her family. What happened was a mistake, and I mean I can't take it back. I just want to apologize and let them know that I'm remorseful for it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Any further?
No, thank you.
All right. Mr. Bailey, when the prosecutor was going through all of your rights, were there any that you were confused about or you didn't understand that you want me to go through again with you?
I understood everything.
So you understand all the rights that you are giving up by pleading guilty today?
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you in any way to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
And are you pleading guilty to all the crimes listed in the indictment with the exception of counts 1, 2, 9, 31, 32, and 33, because you are in fact guilty of those crimes?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bailey, the court finds that you understand the nature of the crimes and the consequences of your guilty plea, that there's a factual basis for your plea, and that your plea is being made knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bailey, based on the state's proffer and also based on the limited evidence that I have already seen in this case at pretrial hearings, based on the decisions that you made, a life without parole sentence is appropriate based on the crimes committed. I understand you are saying that it was a mistake, it was an accident that you shot Miss Beller. neither I nor the law actually cares because you chose to bring a loaded